records learn. Oh, hey, I'm glad you stopped by. Are you familiar with Graham Greene? He's from England, just like today's pedal. The MWFX Judder. It comes all the way from London, which means it's sophisticated, just like me. Actually, I don't know if it's from London. I'm from Texas, and so everything in Europe is basically London or Paris to me. This is got a little chip inside. It takes a sample of your playing and it feeds you back repeats. But it's not an echo, it's not a delay. It's kind of an echo. But all of these little knobs and switches beat the ever-loving crap out of those repeats and bend them to its will. It'll bend you to its will. Sometimes it beats itself up to the little chip inside screams for mercy. The English obviously have issues, but you reap the rewards. This thing's going to take a few minutes to get through, but it's unique and it's worth the effort, so let's jump right in. Try to think about how the controls interact together and how you would use it. I've described a lot of pedals as being intuitive or easy to dial in, and the Judder is not one of those. It's a science experiment, and it might go a little wrong on you from time to time, and you might be a little frustrated until you figure out how the controls interact together and how you're going to use it. But if you'll spend the time to understand this pedal, it's crazy rewarding. It's made some just really cool sounds that I haven't been able to get anywhere else. And there is a simpler version for people who don't want to put in the time, but I would encourage you to man up. Okay, so we've got a momentary switch and a bypass switch. When the momentary switch, or when the pedal is not engaged, the momentary switch will turn it on. So, and when the pedal is turned on, the momentary switch will turn it off. This is really great because you can set it you can have it set to like a very extreme setting, and then just pull it in at the end of a note and take it out. Okay, so we've got a little row of controls up here: effect, mod, range, LFO, envelope, and auto. Effect decides what's added to the sample. And I say sample because essentially this is an echo or very short delay. There's a computer chip inside that takes a little sample of your playing and then repeats it. So layer allows you to sort of stack those samples. Judder is the original effect, or normal, and stutter sounds to me like they're sort of sped up and chopped a little bit. Okay, modulate. We've got static and modulate. What this does is it controls the length of the samples taken. Static will be uniform, modulate will be, I don't know if they're random, but they go back and forth in size, and at certain settings this will be more drastic and you get a real sort of rubber bandy kind of sound. Short and long range. The pedal was designed around short. Long really pushes the chip beyond what it was meant to do, and you're going to get it just increases or decreases the length of the sample that's taken, and you at long settings you're going to get some digital distortion. And that sort of garbage you heard that turned up is because it's not really meant to go that far, and we've got a little LPF control up here that we'll get to in a minute that sort of helps us with some of that. The LFO or envelope switch just chooses between LFO or envelope. It's pretty straightforward. The auto 1 off or auto 2 switch over here, it just turns on the automatic trigger. Automatic 1 is triggered by the envelope settings. Auto 2 it ducks the envelope and is just triggered by the LFO. And off just lets this thing run crazy.
Okay, so we've got the 1/4 BPM that you've been seeing me playing with. This controls the length of the sample. And I know I've said that about several of these, but you have to think about how they interact to really get the length of the sample. So you're getting basically a division of 4 beats per minute with this thing, so 4 repeats. Here you're getting a sample that is 4 BPM, but the actual length and time it expands moves back and forth. Range, is it going to be short, rapid little beats, or is it going to be long, sort of drug out little beats? I don't know how to explain that clear, but you sort of get a feel for it as you play it. Yeah, you've seen me use it, but let's do it anyway. Okay, so here we've got the hold control, and this varies the number of repeats. If we go this way, we are doubling the repeats and we get a chorus sound in some settings. This way we'll start to get a swell setting. At noon the repeats should be uniform. So let's hear this. So we switched it over to envelope, and then I set the envelope trigger and roll this back to, I guess I'd be decreasing it, and we start to get a doubling sound, a chorus sound. I think it's more pronounced in the envelope setting. Or you can get a swell sound that'll just run right away on you. Okay, so let's see, LPF. This is like a treble control for the repeats. It will allow you in longer settings to sort of dial some of the garbage out. It can't get rid of all of it, but it will allow you to clean some of it up so it's more usable longer. Let's see here. It's a fun pedal. Sometimes you don't know what it's going to do. I have been taking photos of the settings that I like so that I can go find them again, because sometimes this pedal can it can play some tricks on you. Let's see here. The mix knob is dry to wet, but it's only for the repeats, and it doesn't get 100% dry and it doesn't get 100% wet. Okay, and the LFO envelope. In the LFO setting, which we are right now, what it's going to do is it controls the rate that the LFO is moving at. So what I've done there is I've turned the LFO down, but I've turned the BPM up. It's sort of fighting against each other, and it's creating this great little, like, I don't know, sci-fi noise that sounds amazing with a fuzz pedal. So, in addition to that, we've got an expression control input, and we've got a small hole on the underside, which will allow us to control the depth of the modulation. It just takes a small screwdriver to set, but Matthew Warren, before he sends these out, he puts them to where he thinks it's optimum, and I haven't felt any need to mess with it because this thing is plenty crazy all on its own.
You know how this part works. We're just going to hit it and see what happens.